Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. It's a Wednesday, so of course it's time once again for our weekly Top 10 Countdown. And if you watched the last week's video, you know it was Grayson and I's opinion of the top 10 best things to do in Pigeon Forge, and it was things that we have done ourselves. And my man Jimmy messaged me and said, why don't you do top 10 best Pigeon Forge restaurants? So today, that's what we're going to do. And Eric, my friend, my buddy, stay tuned. I will get to your other top 10 countdown that involves Halloween next week. But today, it's going to be top 10 restaurants. And just like last week, it's going to be restaurants that Grace and I have ate at. If you've been to these restaurants, please feel free to let me know in the comment section. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. Number 10, what is it, Grace?
TGI Friday.
Now, TGI Fridays is a restaurant that is actually a chain restaurant. So depending on where you live, maybe you've been there, but where Grace and I live at, there's not one around us. So if we want to go to TGI Fridays, we have to go to the one in Pigeon Forge. It is good. That's why it makes number 10 on the countdown. And number 9 is Crystal's. Now,
Kids' choice.
Grace wrote this down because, you know, we have small kids, and I think with Crystal's Burgers being so small, our kids, even our twins who are 3, are able to hold them in their hands.
They love them.
So it's easier that way. We know we ain't got to feed them. They're not going to drop it. So, you know, if you're in a hurry and you're driving up and down the strip and want something fast and cheap, we just swing by Crystal's. Mm-hmm. But number 8 is Corki's, and Grace and I love this place. Grace went one time and got some kind of macaroni and cheese barbecue thing,
the pulled pork,
mixed together, and she said it was delicious.
It was awesome. Now I can't have it now because it's against my diet, but then it was good.
And I enjoy it too. Now, if you're a barbecue fan in any way, shape, or form, there is a lot of barbecue restaurants in Pigeon Forge. We actually have another one that we're going to talk about coming up here in a few minutes, but we both love Corki's. And number 7 on our list is Huck Fence. If you like seafood, Huck Fence ain't real seafood as far as like crab legs and all that, but they have, you know, normal basic seafood. But it's really good. We like it because they have this thing called Vittles, which is basically just starters, but it's Southern food. So if you like Southern food, you would love it because as soon as you sit down, what do they bring you, Grace? A plate of hush puppies,
beans with ham. What kind of butter beans with ham?
Yeah,
butter beans and limas. One of them. Pickles, onions. What's the other one?
And they bring it to you
else.
To your table, and you can eat all you want to. And if you eat what they bring you, they'll bring you some more. And you can order that if you want to.
Just
all you can eat, and that's all you get to eat. But you ain't got to pay for it if you just get it along with your meal. It comes with your meal. I love the hush puppies. I'm not a big fan of butter beans and ham, but Grace likes it. And then, of course, they bring you your sweet tea in a mason jar, and that's something you just don't see anymore. But they have the shrimp, and they put this sauce on it called Rocky Top Boom Boom, and I have no idea what it is. I think it's honey mustard and something mixed together. All I know is it's good.
You're still trying to figure it out.
And they also serve gator tail, and I love some alligator tail.
Mm-hmm.
Now, number 6 on our list is Mel's Diner. And it's funny because Jimmy is the one that asked me to do this countdown, and Jimmy messaged me and he said, my wife and I, we don't care for Mel's Diner at all. And I told him, Grace and I love it. So it just goes to show how people's opinions differ. That's why it's always good to go to a restaurant and not go by somebody's opinion, go by your own opinion because everybody's different. Now, Mel's Diner doesn't have anything fancy. You're not going to go there and get a stack of pancakes or a big old T-bone steak. It's, you know, basic food. But Grace and I love it. But I will forewarn you, if you're cold-natured, don't go there.
Or wear a jacket.
Unless it's summertime, unless you're going to wear a jacket or long sleeves because
it is always cold there.
You can walk in there in the middle of June when it's hot outside, and that building is about 20 below zero. So I can imagine how cold it is in that building in about November and December. But the food is good. Grace likes their meatloaf. I do too. Their
I
meatloaf
will say
is good.
the meatloaf changed from this time let's go to the very first time I had it.
Well, I think one time we went at supper time and one time we went at lunchtime, so I'm sure it was different cooks.
It might have been, but it did change, and that's why I didn't put it no higher than lower, whatever than 6, because it changed. But I still enjoyed the food.
And then they have the best banana split you could ever put in your mouth. My brother-in-law went one time and got nachos as a appetizer, and the plate was like this big, and I was like, man, if that's an appetizer, I can't imagine getting nachos for a meal. It was like enough for a family as an appetizer.
2 of them made it.
But the food is really, really good, but like I said, it's just nothing fancy. It's just meatloaf, hot dogs, hamburgers.
And you got good burgers.
Yeah.
The Elvis burger looks real good.
But it's supposed to be set like you're in the 60s. Yeah, so it's all the walls and everything are old. They play 60s music. So if you like the good old days, you'd like to go there.
However, if you think Mel's Diner has big food, number 5 will blow your world.
Oh, yeah. Number 5 is Old Meal. Now, if you've been following the channel, you know Grayson and I went to Pigeon Forge a few weeks back on Labor Day week. And we met my friend Nikki, who does radio in Grand Junction, Colorado, and her husband wanted to go there, and they said they read reviews, and none of the reviews were bad. And if you find a restaurant where nobody says anything bad, then, you know, it's got to be good because everybody's going to find something to complain about. So I said, if y'all want to go there, we'll go. Now, I can't remember everything everybody got, but I do know
I had chicken pot pie.
that Grace and somebody else, it might have been Nate.
It was Nate.
But somebody else got chicken pot pie.
Oh, it was so good. It was like this
And it was
big.
like enough for a whole entire bowl.
I mean, like, it was that big.
And I had the most tender,
flaky. Oh
I
my
had
gosh.
the most tender barbecue pork I've ever had. But then not only that, everybody gets their own meal. But then they bring each person their own soup.
A salad.
They bring each person their own salad. And then they bring the table a bowl of hush puppies.
Green beans.
And green beans to share. And then when you eat, everybody gets their own choice of dessert. And the night we went, it was chocolate pie, pecan pie,
cobbler.
I think blackberry cobbler, and banana pudding. I'm not sure if it changes every night or not, but that was our 4 options. And everybody that got their own dessert said it was delicious. So if you like food, you like to get full, that's the place to go. We saw the price, and I was like, holy cow. But then when I seen all the food that I got, I was like, it's worth the price. So if you like to eat and you like food, and the atmosphere is great, the staff is friendly, great location, great place. Not to mention the waterfall is right beside it, and the Old Mill waterfall is beautiful to look at.
Don't take a stroller if you go, because it won't fit through there.
No, it's too tight.
And it's got stairs to go from one layer to the next, so don't take a stroller.
The bottom level is basically like a little gift shop, and then you walk upstairs to the restaurant. What's number 4, baby?
Number 4 is Quaker Steak and Lube.
Now, Quaker Steak and Lube, I know it's a weird name. You think Quaker, you think of oil, but it's not oil. But it's called Quaker because it's supposed to make you feel like you're at a racetrack. The signing outside looks like a racetrack, and when you go inside to eat, they've got motorcycle memorabilia. They even got dirt bikes in the wall. So it's supposed to make you feel like you're at a racetrack. But it's regular food. But it's actually Sevierville. But I put Pigeon Forge and Sevierville together because they're so close to each other. Pigeon Forge runs right into Sevierville. But it's actually right directly across the street from the Walmart. So if you've been to the Walmart in Sevierville, you know where this place is. And I know I've mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. We went there because I was dared to go try their hot wing challenge. And then when I got there and saw the price, I was like, I'll get something else. But now we go there as a routine because the food is so good. And just like Old Mill, you don't get quite the food Old Mill gives you, but you do get a lot of food. I get a steak. I like my steak medium rare. If you eat a steak cooked more than medium rare, you're just eating cardboard. But everybody has their own opinion. But I love their steak. What's number 3, baby?
Big Daddy's.
Big Daddy's. Now, Big Daddy's is right smack dab in the middle of town. So if you've driven down the strip, you've passed it.
Ain't there 2?
There's actually 3. There's one in Gatlinburg, one in Pigeon Forge, and one in Sevierville.
We always go to Pigeon Forge.
But we always go to the one in Pigeon Forge. If you've seen the big, huge motel called Willowbrook Lodge that has the big waterfall with it, well, Big Daddy's is right beside it. If you've been to the old-time photo shop right in the middle of town, Big Daddy's is right beside it. But it's not big like most restaurants, so it's easy to miss because it's off by itself. But it's good. But it's a pizza restaurant. but they don't have just regular pizza. They have all kind of pizza. They have one that's called, I think it's called the honeybee or the bee sting. The bee sting.
Me and Bella love it. It's drizzled with honey on top. Oh my gosh, it is so good.
They even have taco pie pizza. So if you like taco pie,
it's delicious.
Go there and try their taco pie pizza.
The Great White is good.
The Great White has got 5 kinds of cheese on it. So if you like cheese, you would like it. And they got one that's called meatball something, and it's just a big old thick pizza with meatballs all over it.
Don't they have one with steak and cheese?
Yep, steak and cheese. And then they got garlic knots as an appetizer before your meal, and they're really, really, really
Hawaiian,
good too.
What is the Hawaiian one?
It's called the Big Kahuna.
Yeah, Big Kahuna. That's good too.
It's like Hawaiian pizza, but it also has other stuff on it besides just pineapple.
Number 2?
What is it?
Boss Hogs.
Boss Hogs.
Whoa.
Now, earlier we talked about Corki, so now we'll talk about Boss Hogs.
Corkies can't stand the Boss Hogs.
Another barbecue place. We'd never been there until we went, I want to say it was April of this year. Mm-hmm. And before we went, my man Jimmy, who asked to do this video, he said, why don't y'all try Boss Hogs? And we've never tried it because...
Smart guy, that Jimmy, I tell you.
Because it's not on the main... Well, there's one now on the main strip, but there used to only be one, and it's off the main strip. Now, one year we got a cabin that was down that way, so we had to pass it every night going to our cabin and every morning going to town, but we never stopped. Because we always thought, well, you know, why take this road out of town to go to a restaurant when there's 95,000, right here in the middle of town? And then Jimmy said, go try it, you'll like it. So we went.
Smart guy.
And we didn't eat there because it's old timey place. It has like 5 benches outside. Outside of that, you can't eat inside.
You mostly eat to go.
So you get it to go. So we got it and took it back to our motel. But Grace got a piece of chicken that was like as big as the plate.
It was the best barbecue chicken.
But she said it was the best barbecue chicken she's ever had. And I always get barbecue pork when I go. I love barbecue pork. And mine was delicious as well. But now they've actually added one that is on the right-hand side of the road. Well, I call it right-hand side of the road. But it's if you're in Pigeon Forge going back towards Gatlinburg. It's on the left if you're coming from Gatlinburg going into Pigeon Forge. But it's Boss Hogs. But the one that we went to was the one that's off the main strip. But it is wonderful, and it's really, really, really big, so you will get full. So if you like barbecue, you got Corki's and you got Boss Hogs. What's number 1, baby?
Sunline Diner.
Now, Sunline Diner is a place we had never been to until we went a few weeks back during Labor Day. And we didn't have our kids with us, and that's why we went, because it's still pretty new. I think it opened up last year, early this year.
It was still packed.
And every time we passed it, they'd have cars lined up, and you had to wait an hour or two. And we knew with 3 small kids, especially 2 twins, they ain't going to sit outside and wait. So we just never went. Well, this past September we went, and it was just us, no kids. So I thought, well, we'll go and see what all the hype is. And if we got to wait an hour, it's just us and our sister-in-law. No big deal. So we'll wait. And they told us we had to wait
30.
I think 30 minutes. We ended up waiting like 20.
It might be 15.
So it wasn't quite as long as they told, but that's good because you know how it is. If they tell you 30 and you wait 45, you're going to say, man, it's been 45 minutes. If they tell you 30 and you wait 20, you ain't going to say nothing. But the food was absolutely remarkable. And it's just like Mel's Diner. It's supposed to feel like
Back in time.
So they played 60s, 70s type music.
But the waitress staff would walk around singing the songs, and they would encourage the eaters, the diners, to sing in with them. We were singing, and it was such a good atmosphere.
So we had a blast, and they got all kinds of dessert too. Our sister-in-law, or my sister-in-law, Grace's sister, she got a shake, and I think it was fudge, but it had like a pound of fudge on the bottom of it. But me personally, I forgot what I got, but it was remarkable.
I'm going to step out. The kids are hollering. Bye-bye.
I'll finish this up by myself. But we went, and I think on the menu, it just said something about a surprise dessert. You order it, and they'll do the rest. And they brought it out, and Grace and I shared it, but she had like 3 sips, and the rest of it was just me. But it was really good, but it had a waffle inside of it, and it had candy inside of it. But it was like $7, but when you get it and see how big it is, and see how much food it comes with, then you know why it cost $7. But we went, and we will definitely be going back. By the time we go again, our twins will be almost 4, so they may have a little bit more patience and be willing to wait a few minutes. But they do have a big, huge, like 1960s Happy Day style car in the parking lot. You know, if you want to take pictures, things like that. So there is things to do besides wait. But with 3-year-old twins, they're not very good at just sitting still. They don't get the whole picture thing. They want to go inside and they want to eat. So that is our opinion of the top 10 restaurants in Pigeon Forge. Don't y'all like shooting videos? Y'all get to see me in real time scooting over now that Grace has stepped out. It's eating time here in the Todd household, so she had to go occupy the twins because they were done. They want to get out. Now, I've got a few honorable mentions on restaurants that I'll mention that didn't quite make the top 10, then I'll explain why they didn't make the top 10. One of them was another barbecue restaurant, and that's Bennett's. Now, Bennett's, the food is good. The food, as far as taste, is right on par with Boss Hogs and with Corki's. The problem with Bennett's, in my opinion, is when you go to a restaurant, you're supposed to get full. If you go to a restaurant hungry and you walk out and you're still hungry, there's a problem. That's my problem with Cracker Barrel. A lot of people love Cracker Barrel. And the Cracker Barrel, the food's good. But when I walk out, I'm still hungry because they don't give you enough. And that's my problem with Bennett's. The food's great. But Grayson and I went one time and they bring you a plate. And no matter what you order, like if you get barbecue pork, you'll get about 5 bites. And then macaroni and cheese, you'll get about 3 bites. So unless you're just a picky eater or don't eat much, you're not going to get full. And I don't care if it's the best food in the world. If I come in there and I pay $10-20 and I walk out and I'm still hungry, I'm not coming back. Because I'm supposed to walk out and be full. So that's my problem with Bennett's. Nothing wrong with the food. Food's great. But you just don't get a big enough portion. And then IHOP didn't quite make the list. Only because there's IHOPs all over. So you don't have to go to Pigeon Forge just to go to IHOP. Plus, that's another restaurant that Grace and I like, but it's not one of our favorites. We just enjoy going there because it's a nice family atmosphere and they have so much for kids to eat. So if the kids are hungry and we know they're actually going to eat something, then we'll go to IHOP. And another one that barely missed the list was Steak and Shake. And Steak and Shake, we just like to go there because just like the other ones, it's something quick for the kids. Something to, get in their hands. And if you're running low on money, but you're hungry, you can go to Steak and Shake and get a combo for like $4. Don't expect great food, but it's good and it's fast. And then last but not least is one that Grace wanted to put in the top 10, but I'm just not going to because to me it's extremely overrated, and that's Joe's Crab Shack. I guess if you're a crab lover, you'd like it, but you go to Joe's Crab Shack and they bring you the menu and it's like this big. And if you're a restaurant and you ain't got but 7 or 8 things, that's useless. I want a selection. That's like going to buy a used car at a car dealership and they got 6 cars in the yard. To me, if I pass by you and you're a used car salesman and you got 6 cars, there's a problem. You ain't making no money. So when I look at your menu and you got 6 things on your menu, that's a waste. Plus, I won't eat crab legs, not because they're bad, but because when I go to a restaurant and I eat, I'm there for one reason, and that's to eat. Not work, eat. If I wanted to work there, I'll get a job there. I want to eat. You go to Joe's Crab Shack and they bring you out a whole big old bowl of crab legs and you spend 20 minutes picking them apart. I don't want to do that. Now, if you'll cook my crab legs for me and pull them apart for me, I'll eat them. But I'm not going to spend just as much time getting them things ready as I am eating them. That's your job. I'm here to eat. I ain't here to work. So I won't eat crab legs for that reason and that reason only. But if you do, that's on you. But I'm not going to. But that is Grace and I's opinion of the top 10 best restaurants in Pigeon Forge. Thank you so much, Jimmy, for suggesting that. And Eric, like I said earlier, I'll get back to you next week and do your top 10 countdown that's based on Halloween. I've already did 2, and I'll do the other one next week, so stay tuned for that. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. I lost my job as a bank teller. A lady asked me to check her balance, so I pushed her over. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.